Alright, so this is later than most of my Pixar reviews than I usually do. Usually I get them out about a few days or so after the movie comes out, but this time it's almost a whole month later. It came out, what, November 22nd or so, and now right now it's in mid-December, getting to late December, so it's quite late at this point, but the reasoning for that was I was debating whether I should see the Frozen short or not because, one, it was 21 minutes long. I wasn't sure if I really wanted to sit through all of that. I mean, I like Frozen, but a 20-minute short with Olaf? Not me. And after that I read reviews on it, and because it was so long, people were giving it pretty bad reviews and saying it was just, oh no, this should have been on ABC Family, why is this on here? And I think they did kind of make a mistake by doing that. They should have just put a regular short on there, but they had to go and just go and make this a cash-in so it can get maybe an award or something. That's not going to happen anymore. So this year I don't have a Pixar short to go and review since I didn't see one. They did have kind of just a little interview with some of the people who worked on the film, but other than that there wasn't really a short. But this is going to be Coco. And no, not Coco from Foster's Imaginary Friends. Coco the film. So, the film is pretty much about the Day of the Dead, which is a Mexican holiday about honoring your family. You go around and put pictures on a mantle of past family members, sing some songs. People will go and paint their faces like skeletons. Lots of fun sounds. So, this one family used to like a lot of music a lot, but one day the father decided he was going to become a musician, and he decided to go and leave his family. This pissed the mother off, and she decided to go and ban everything music, and pretty much just get out of their lives completely, and not even have her daughter go and look at it. So years pass, and also they become shoemakers, and which becomes something that they still do to this day. So years and years pass, people die and people go, and we go and get to our main character, Hector, who is not like the other people in his family. Haven't seen that in a Disney film before. But he doesn't want to be a shoemaker. He wants to be a musician. But his family won't accept him. Every single Disney movie ever. So he wants to go and be a musician, but his family won't let him because of what happened in the past. And he's influenced by this one guy who I think it was Ernesto. I'm probably going to pronounce half the names wrong, but who is this really famous musician who is known for his songs. And unfortunately for him, he died when he got crushed to death by a giant bell in 1942. But even with that, his songs and everything about him was still remembered to this day, and Hector is a big fan of him, who's influenced by him and wants to be just like him. Yeah, we'll see about that at the end of the film. So he just wants to be a musician, but his family won't let him. And he decides he's going to go and do this a stunt on the Day of the Dead. But unfortunately for him, his grandmother goes and crushes his guitar so he can do it. And he goes and runs off crying. But he does have an idea. Because he goes and finds out that it seems that Ernesto is actually his great-grandfather. So now he has a big reason to go and do this, because he has musician blood in him. So he goes to this church he's buried in and says he's going to go and borrow the guitar he used. But when he does this, he goes and plays the guitar, and it somehow goes and gets him to the Day of the Dead world, where all these Hispanic people go and live after they die. Which I think it's only Hispanic people. I don't think it's really explained, but it seems so. So naturally he's all scared, he doesn't know what's going on, and he goes and runs into his family there. And they decide to go and they'll give him his blessing if he agrees to go and not do music anymore. Which is something he doesn't want to do, but he agrees to it until he messes that up and comes back again. So they say they'll give him the blessing again, but he refuses and runs off. He then runs into this guy who says he knows Ernesto and will bring him to him because now he wants to go and get his blessing from Ernesto. So Miguel and Hector, who's the guy's name, go on this big adventure, decide to go and try to get to him. His family are trying to go and chase after him while he and Hector go and find out a lot about each other. So it was a really good film. I liked it. It was fantastic. I'm not really sure where I would replace it on my Pixar charts. I don't think it was good as Inside Out. I think I liked that film more, but it was better than Cars 3. Overall, I don't know, maybe about 7 or 8 on my chart, around there. I'm not really too sure. I would really have to think about that. It's still high, but it's not really at the highest. There are still films I like a lot more, but it was a really good film. It did manage to make me cry, which is... How many Pixar films have done that? Let's see, Toy Story 2 managed to do that. Let's see, Up, Toy Story 3, Inside Out, and then, let's see, Finding Nemo and WALL-E sort of do. Sometimes they get maybe like a tear out, but not, they don't usually get me crying like the other films I just said then, just a little. And the other films really don't get me at all. But this film, I also really liked the songs in it. It was really good. It's not a musical per se, I think, but it does have a lot more songs than the average Pixar film. I did really like Hector's version of Remember Me. That was a really good version. I liked it, and it got a little tear out of me. I did like that. I liked all the songs from Miguel. They were really good. And even Ernesto's songs are pretty good, even though what he did was wrong. Which, in case you don't want the film to be spoiled, you should probably leave right now, go watch the movie, and then come back. So, it turns out that Ernesto went and actually killed Hector. Hector wanted to go back to his family. He was feeling all guilty about leaving them. He was getting homesick, and he decided he wanted to go back. But Ernesto wasn't going to have that. He saw him as his one ticket to fame. So, rather than letting him go, he goes and poisons him and has him killed. And after that, if that wasn't enough, he goes and takes all his songs and becomes world famous. What a dick. I mean, it's one thing to go and kill a person when all they want to do is see their family. But then you go and steal their songs and then take all the credit for it. God, you don't do those kinds of things. Ugh, I mean, jeez. I mean, that's the debacle. You don't do those kinds of things. And I was really surprised that they actually showed Hector dying on screen. That stuff doesn't really happen a lot on Disney movies. Usually, even for Disney deaths, they're off screen. But this one, nope. He just goes and drinks the poison and collapses to the ground. So I was pretty surprised there. I'm kind of glad they showed it. It was pretty cool. I think the designs of the skeletons are pretty cool. I mean, I really don't get why they have hair or eyes or anything like that. It's usually after you've been dead for a while, those things go away. But I guess if they have to see, they have to have eyes, and usually hair is probably just to go in for character design to go and make them look nice. Another thing I really liked was how children were in the world. I mean, you see children and teenagers because, yes, kids die. Unfortunately, that stuff does happen. I mean, one of the scenes really early in the film was when Hector just went and got into the world and he sees a little kid crossing with her mother. And I was like, jeez, how'd she die? I mean, but, so I'm kind of glad they went that route. It's pretty realistic. I mean, it's sad, yes, children die, but it does happen in real life. So I think it was pretty cool how they did that. The other family members in the movie are, I like them too. I mean, the regular grandmother, she's kind of a jerk sometimes, but it's understandable. She was taught about how this guy was a bad person, and she does feel guilty at times. You can see it in her face, so you can understand it. The great grandmother is pretty much the same. I mean, her husband left her, so you probably had to understand how she felt, and she never knew why, and her husband never came back because she never knew why of that either. So you can go and see where she's coming from, but you go and get the idea that she's not going to be the main villain throughout the whole thing. And even early in the film, I was questioning Ernesto. I was like, yeah, there's something scratchy about this guy. I don't know what. I don't know, it was maybe just the way he was designed, or his character, his personality. I don't know, it was just something off about that. I just could tell he was going to be the villain right away. He's going to be one of those secret villains who it seems that they're all good and nice and all, but in real life they're just a complete jerk. I got onto that pretty early, and when it revealed that he was actually a murderer and stole the songs, I was like, got it. Yeah, I knew it. I knew it all freaking along, and that was going to happen. So, the ending was also really good. I just loved it when Hector went up to Coco and he was trying to go and save Hector from going and fading away from the final death, and it seems that he went and did it first, because I was like, is he alive? Is he alive? And then about a year later, he's shown to be still alive. Which, I'm not sure if he disappeared for maybe a moment or two, but if he did, then that can maybe bring back other people who went and got the final death back. So, maybe not all people would have to go and disappear forever, and that's also really cruel, actually. I mean, disappearing forever? Just think of your family, and how many family members have since been forgotten. I mean, it could be short as your great-great-grandfather, or maybe even your great-grandfather, who are now completely forgotten. So if that place existed, once you're there, you're not going to see them, because people like you forgot them. So, it was a really good film. I liked it a lot. It was pretty much just as fantastic as I thought it was going to be. Better than Cars 3 was this year. I didn't hate Cars 3, but it was still a really good film. But overall, I'm looking forward to The Incredibles 2 a lot more. I've been waiting for this film for about 15 years. And there's no way I'm going to miss this one. I am really excited for that film. Toy Story 4, I'll see it, but I don't think it's really necessary. I mean, the film had a perfect ending. It's playing right now, actually, conventionally. So, Coco, really good film. Loved it. It's probably just not in my top 5, but still really close when it comes to Pixar movies. It's really great, and I really loved it. So, Pixar, you've done it again, and I can't wait to your next film.